I probably thought in the first half especially, the game probably didn't look like our game. I thought Hawthorn had control of the game in a lot of ways. So we had to re-establish ourselves a little bit at half-time. But I thought our response after half-time was exceptional in our ability to win the clearance and get our contested numbers back the way we think they should be for our footy club. Was outstanding. But, we got a lot of different looks from Hawthorn tonight and had to make some changes on the run. But, yeah, look, when they got within 12 points, clearly there's some things that we've improved on as a team in those type of situations. So that was pleasing as well.
Can you believe Jack Viney's impact over the last 2 weeks, considering his injury profile this year?
Oh, look, he's been incredible. But I said this last week and I'll say it again. He had 5-week preparation heading into this final series. So, we probably could have brought him back a touch earlier if we wanted to, but we really held him back. But his game tonight was outstanding.
I'll get to Max Gorn, but was that Christian Petrarca's perhaps best game for the club?
Yeah, look, I think it was. It was a great game from track. He's been playing his role relatively well in the forward line, but I thought, tonight especially, he certainly had genuine impact forward to centre for us, and was a pretty pivotal player on the ground.
Touching again on that first half, Simon, you said you obviously weren't winning in the category you generally do, the contested possession, clearance, these sorts of things. Does it show the maturity of the group, though, that you were leading at that stage and you'd found a way to still get in front?
Yeah, well, I think Hawthorn certainly brought great tackle pressure, and they certainly contest the ball incredibly well. And that's what finals are like. You're playing a good footy club that are really strong with their character, and clearly they set themselves for that phase of the game. But in finals, if you just got to keep chipping away to try and establish your game. And I thought the boys were terrific, that they didn't lose their moment. They held their nerve and continued to try and get the game looking the way that we wanted it to, and we got the rewards in the end.
How does the program look this week, Simon? And do you take confidence from the fact that you obviously succeeded over in Perth this season?
Oh, look, I think it's just a new game. Obviously we know the stadium, we know the team that we're playing against. It was 5 weeks ago, but we start again. We got 8 days to prepare ourselves. We'll have a pretty quiet weekend and then lead into a pretty normal week, heading into the game on Saturday. So I think our preparation is going to be really important, but I think we'll be ready to go.
You caught the wrong end of 2 contact below the knee decisions. What's your interpretation and opinion with respect to how that rule's being applied?
I think it's been applied the same way the whole year. So I think we all know what that looks like. From where I was sitting, it probably looked like it was below the knees as well.
Seem to look after Phil Wade with momentum over the last couple of years and really bright. Do you feel like we're in the midst of that at the moment?
Well, look, I certainly think we're in the midst of our supporters really getting in behind our footy team and giving us great belief and inspiring us to new heights. To have 90,000 here again tonight between the two clubs, I think it's the biggest crowd ever, including grand finals. But you can just see the MCC, you can see the joy that our supporters are getting from this journey. And they inspire us. They're like another player out there. So, we want to get them all over to Perth if we can. From what I hear, it's a 50-50 ticket split. So, Virgin, put some flights on and enable our supporters to get over there.
Can you believe how loud they've been, Simon? They're probably not renowned for being the most vocal supporters, but it's an incredible atmosphere the last couple of games.
Yeah, it has been. And, I think that's, when you haven't played finals for 12 years, there's been a lot of dark days as a footy club. So now they're really getting in behind their footy team and they've got great belief in what they're building. So we want to actually embrace them on that journey with us. And you can just see the joy in their faces when you speak to them before the game, after the game, during the week. So it's pretty special for them as well.
How did Angus Brayshaw pull up? Obviously, a little bit of a knock on the back of the head, but came back on the ground, which is obviously a very encouraging sign and looked fine.
Yeah, no, he's fine. He caught a little knock on his head, but he's got that helmet on, so he'll be right.
Simon, how much, they kicked the first 3 goals in the last quarter. I guess if there's been a question mark over Melbourne late in the season, are they mentally strong enough? Can they now stand up? How much do you reckon you passed a test tonight in that last quarter?
Yeah, we've probably passed that test in the last 6 weeks a lot. Probably since that Geelong game down at Skilled Stadium, that our ability just to hold our nerve, continue to hold momentum. It's been a real hallmark of this side over the last 6 weeks. So the maturity of the group's starting to grow, and they understand what the game demands at that stage, and they're adding a fair bit of composure to the way they play.
various players are standing up, but Jake Melcham in particular in that last quarter, he's sort of like gone to an A-grader, to agree?
Yeah, look, he did a really strong job on Sicily on the night. You know, he wanted that matchup, and you know, probably took him to the last quarter to really get involved himself. But you know, I think you just saw the class and the talent that Jake's got. You know, the ability to finish goals the way he has was really strong.
Someone like Charlie Spargo, I thought he was enormous tonight. There's been some calls to get Jeff Garlett in, but he justified why you've been sticking with him. Yeah,
I was really happy with Sparks tonight. You know, I thought his tackle pressure inside forward 50 was certainly the hallmark of his game, and his drop of ball. So he's really emerging as a player for us, and you know, he's had a terrific first season. But you know, it was great to see him get in the game tonight.
Just back, it was that momentum swing late in the third quarter when Gunston misses at one end, Neil Bullen kicks goal at the other, and I think you piled on a couple more after that. How significant was that in terms of the match?
Yeah, it was probably, you know, a bit of the story of the night. Probably in the end, probably our efficiency inside 50 was probably the difference in the game. You know, I thought Hawthorn, you know, certainly had enough opportunities in the game with, you know, they produced enough shots at goal, and they certainly put our defenders under enormous pressure for the majority of the night. So that was probably end up being the difference in the game. But I don't think it was that moment as such. But in general, I think our ability to, you know, I think we lost the inside 50 count, and obviously a little bit more efficient going inside 50. So it's probably the story of the night, really.
When the Hawks came good, I think you dominated the clearance of 6-0 at one point in the last quarter, the contested ball, and obviously the conversion going forward. Do you think that'll hold you in good stead, that experience going to next week and hopefully the subsequent week?
Yeah, look, that's our game. You know, that's what we want to be known for, is our ability to obviously connect around stoppage and win contested ball and establish that brand that we know. And you know, at times it wasn't there tonight, but when it was there, it was red hot. So you know, it's not going to be there all the time, but when it's there, it's certainly a weapon for us.
How much belief will you take from beating West Coast in Perth the last 2 times?
I think, you know, it's an oval that we're now familiar with. It's a team that we're familiar with, but it's a new game. So we know what we're up against. We're up against a really strong footy club. You know, they've got some experienced players that are back in the team that didn't play that day, as we have. So it's going to be a different looking game, but one we're really looking forward to. You know, that experience will certainly be beneficial, but it won't make the difference. This is a new game of footy, and one we're going to have to be right at our best to be successful in.
So I think we saw the great Neil Danaher comment during the week to your players and you guys that to step it up further. It probably wasn't the pressure game that you played tonight compared to last week. Can you step it up further next week?
Well, that's the aim. You know, we've always aimed to get better and better every week. And we know when the big games come, as the back end of this series, that you want to keep taking things up a notch and become even better side. So his message is spot on. You know, it's great to have him at the footy club and deliver that sort of message. It's a really experienced guy in footy.
Shields went at Clayton Oliver a fair bit early on, and it seemed like he responded pretty well to that. How did you see that little battle?
Yeah, look, Clayton's had that attention for most of the year, and he's handled it incredibly well. Clearly it was quite physical, but it doesn't faze Clayton. He just gets on with it, and I thought his ability to drive in and win the contest for us got better as the game went on, and he's pretty pivotal in the end.
The rise of some of your younger players has been quite remarkable. Are you able to just provide a little bit of an insight, I guess, into the role that someone like Brendan McCartney has played in fast-tracking their development since he's been at the club?
Yeah, I think our development program's, you know, certainly been very prevalent for the last 3 or 4 years. Matty Egan's done a terrific job with that, as has Jade Rawlings with our VFL program, and clearly we've got some experienced development guys at the footy club like Brendan McCartney, and all our coaches have done a great job at really nurturing those young guys and developing their craft to be to a position where they can handle the type of game style that we want to play. So we'll continue to have a real focus on the development within our footy club. We know it's pivotal to success, and we know it's pivotal to long-term success. So you know, those guys have built a fantastic program.
Simon, just that the crowd was really loud for the Collingwood game last week, and they'll probably be even louder. Are you confident this is the sort of group that won't be at all intimidated by that? Oh
no, they experienced that in round 22, but as I said, I want to get as many Melbourne supporters over there as many as we can. So from what I can gather, if they want a ticket, they can get one. So it's just a matter of getting there.
You talked about putting flights on. I know it's a bit of a throwaway line, but I mean, people are putting flights up online, $1,500 already. Is it something the AFL should really push Virgin to do? Yeah,
I think so. You know, it's a long way to go, Perth. It's clearly very expensive. So the more flights on, the better for us. So yeah, I'll certainly encourage that. Certainly don't run an airline there. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, guys.